everybody. Welcome to Quarantine Cooking with the Alyvia and Betsy. So we decided to make a video about making a home-cooked meal during quarantine with my favorite niece, Alyvia. So we decided we're going to make a tuna noodle casserole, which is really good. She loves it. Everybody in the family likes it, and I'm telling you, your family's gonna love it too. So first, what you're gonna need is you're going to need a large family-size can of cream of mushroom soup, a large can of canned tuna, 1 yellow onion, some butter, everything's better with butter, mozzarella cheese, a combination blend of Parmesan, Reggiano, a Fontina cheese to go on top. It's going to be more your topping. Some panko crumbs to blend in with it. And of course, you need your shells. Okay? So what we're going to do first is we're going to boil the water. And again, Alyvia, what's the best way to boil water to cook? It has to taste like what?
Salt water.
Salt water, right. So we're gonna put plenty of salt into the water. And it's gonna boil up and start boiling, and then that's gonna taste like salt water. That's the best way you're gonna be able to get any flavor into your noodles. Okay? Once we start the boiling, we'll add the noodles and then we'll move on. Okay, while we wait for the water to boil, we're gonna go ahead and slice the onion. Okay, so you're gonna take one end off. Okay, cut it in half. And you always wanna keep the hairy end to the end, because it gives you something to hold on to. So as you peel back, the outer layer, what you want to do is you want to keep your hands back towards the base and you grip it. So you start slicing through. And actually I learned this from a famous chef. I was going through cooking school. Because you always want to allow it to dice. But you always want to keep that base on so it gives you something to hold so you don't hurt your fingers. Just a little cooking tip. And you want to try to make sure you keep even. Cuts of the onion so it cooks evenly. And again, you repeat on the second one. Second half of the onion. Again, use the base, stick your fingers in, slice, and then you're gonna go diagonally down. And they always say when you hear that chopping of the board, you're doing it right. Now that we got the onions cut, what we're going to do is we're going to saute them with some butter and olive oil, a little bit of salt and pepper. So really, you're only for this whole recipe, you're not even going to use 1 stick of butter. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to start sauteing the onions and get the nice luminous cook on the onion. So we're going to add the onion to the butter. Get that onion out of the way. We're going to start getting these cooking in the butter. And once we start cooking them down, we'll add some salt and pepper to them to get the flavor and the moisture out of the onion, because if you start cooking with salt now, you're going to start releasing all the waters in the onion. You won't get a nice luminous cook to your onion. So you want to keep this going and cook those down for a little bit. And it takes a few minutes, and then we start adding the other ingredients to it. Okay, so now we've got the onions cooking down, and they're nice and glossy and everything. So now we're going to add just a little bit of salt. Good pinch, which is 3 fingerfuls. And about 3 fingerfuls of pepper. And you're going to keep that going down. Now what we're going to add to this is we're going to add equal parts 2 tablespoons of butter and 2 tablespoons of flour. Okay, so now we've combined our 2 equal parts, 2 tablespoons of butter, 2 tablespoons of flour to make the roux. Alyvia, do you know what roux is?
No.
Roux is like, it almost kind of is a paste where you cook the flour down. You want to cook the flour because you don't want that floury taste in your thing, but it makes kind of like a cream, helps you make a cream sauce. So once we get this all blended in together, and as you can see, that's coming together really good. Get nice and thick with the onions. And it looks like our water is boiled, so we can start adding our noodles to that while we do this real quick. And again, we're using a large shell. And of course, you cook per 11 to 12 minutes as instructed. You're going to mix so they don't stick, but you shouldn't be sticking anyways because you've already added the water. And what is it supposed to taste like, Alyvia?
Salt water.
Salt water. Perfect. So now that we've got this all cooked down, and it's made like a really good roux along with the onions, and it smells really good, doesn't it? Don't we wish we had smell-o-vision? Right? We are going to add the cream of mushroom soup at this time. So we're going to add the cream of mushroom soup. Into the mixture. And we're going to mix it all up. Kind of let it come to a little bit of a boil. A little bubbling going on in there. It's all nice and put together and mixed really well. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna use the can from the cream of mushroom soup, and we're gonna add milk into that to add into the cream mixture for the casserole. To the mixture, and we're gonna keep stirring so it blends well without the mess. So we're going to keep stirring until it's blended together, and then it's going to come to a simmer. And then you'll see it start thickening up. Once we see it bubble, then we'll add the large can of the tuna to it. Yeah. Okay. Now the sauce is starting to mix. It's bubbling up. So now we're going to add the tuna. Now in the process, we've already added the milk. You can use any percentage milk you like. I used 1%. So now you're going to add the tuna into the mixture, and you're going to let these flavors marry. They're going to blend together. And this is such an easy recipe. It's great for a work night, or you just don't really feel like cooking a lot. It really is a really easy go-to recipe that I know our family's liked for years. And Olivia's learning how to cook, so she's loving all of this. Right, Alyvia?
Yeah.
And right now she's doing all my videoing, so that's like awesome. So we're gonna lower this just a let this simmer down, because you want those flavors to combine and get all nice and gooey together. You might want to add just a little bit more salt. And a little more pepper. Let that all blend in really nicely. Okay. In the process, we've already started preheating the oven to 375. Now, normally you can make this in a large casserole dish, like a 13 by 9 casserole dish. But what I decided to do, since Olivia's helping, we're making 2 smaller casserole dishes, so she can take some home for her mom and her grandpa and everybody there, because they like this a lot too. So as this starts simmering down, we've already drained our noodles. And they're just resting right now. Now you want to kind of keep them a little bit al dente, because you're going to cook them. So, Alyvia, you know what al dente means? Not all the way cooked through. So just enough where they're a little bit firm, but they're cooked. Because they're going to continue to cook while they bake. So as we stir this, now everything's coming together. I think even Nina and Tiffy would like this, my dogs. Getting a sauna here. We've already added the noodles back to the pan. Okay, so now we're going to add the sauce to it and mix them together. Get all that ooey gooey goodness in there. Yum, yum, yum. So we're gonna blend these together. We're gonna blend all this together. Now this is where some of the cheese comes into play. We're gonna add 1 8-ounce bag of cheese into the mixture itself. Now this is gonna be a cheesy goodness for everybody who loves cheese. So we're gonna add 1 bag of the cheese into the casserole itself. And we're gonna mix that all down. Looks pretty good, doesn't it? And it's gonna melt into the mixture. And trust me, this tastes so good. So we're gonna take our 2 casserole pans. And you want to spray them. Make sure if you use your good casserole pan, spray the pan so it doesn't stick. This helps with the casserole. And you can use any kind of your own spray. I'm using Pam, but you can use anything you want, olive oil, whatever makes you happy. And we're gonna split this mixture if we can with all that cheesy goodness. Yum, 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 right? Make sure we get it all. Since we split this, we're going to clean up these trays a little bit. Shake them around a little bit so they're all in there evenly. It looks like it was evenly. What do you think, Alyvia?
I think it's good.
Yeah, you think it looks good? Okay. So now we're going to use the other bag of mozzarella. We're going to combine a little bit on top of this. Remember, we're going to use several kinds of cheese for the top, so you don't have to go heavy. My family likes it heavy on the cheese. What do you think, Alyvia? We like it heavy on the cheese? Yeah. And then we're going to go to the mixture, aged blend. If you can find something with a Parmigiano, Reggiano, that's also good to put on top. We found this aged one with the Gouda, with the, it has a little bit of mozzarella, aged Parmesan, and Reggiano cheese, and that's what we want, because we want that earthy taste, because again, this is mushroom, this is a mushroom casserole, so you want that earthiness in there too. So we're going to blend this in the top. And the last thing, we're going to make a split. And again, another just an 8-ounce bag. And we'll go a little indulgent, and we're going to put some panko crumbs on the top also. Make a little bit of crunch in there. Blend it in. And that's just to your taste. Whether or not you want to add it or not, that's up to you. It just adds a little bit of extra texture to the casserole. Okay, that's it. Now we're going to put them into the oven at 375 for 25 minutes. nice and crispy golden brown on the top. What do you think, kiddo?
It looks good.
Looks good? And just let it cool for about 15 minutes or so, so it's not so hot. And then it's ready to serve. I hope you like cooking with us today and look forward to new recipes to come. Thanks.